Okay, if you don't know who I am, my name is Droy Henry. I'm the founder of Artist Rise, and I help visual artists simply sell art online. Luckily, last year we had the fastest growing track record, which is something I'm super proud of. And if you new, grab some popcorn or maybe pick up a paintbrush and paint while you listen to this video. I promise you it's going to be value. And the reason I want to give you value in this video is simply because I understand if I give you so much value, at some point you're going to think I'm cool and we're going to end up working together. So, like, if you're ever wondering what's the catch is to try and get you to think I'm cool so we can work together. And that comes at a cost. But for now, I just want you to think I'm cool. So we're going to jump into this video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 hard truths that's going to keep you from succeeding. Before I get into this video, I want you to understand, I talk to a lot of artists. In the average year, I probably talk to about 3,000 to 4,000 visual artists, which is a lot of artists. I'm saying that to say this. I notice majority, like 95% of the artists I talk to struggle with multiple of these 5 hard truths. And these 5 hard truths, once again, is going to keep you from being successful as a visual artist. The goal of this video is for you to quickly identify these truths. See which one that you may have. If you're watching this, you have some form of this, and that's why you're not succeeding. See which ones you may have. You may have all 5, but then the sooner you could realize, okay, I have those hard truths I need to fix, we could quickly start to work on fixing them. With that being said, I'm not going to waste much time. We're going to jump straight into this. So I'm kind of got my notes here as always. I don't want you to think I'm like off the top of my head just throwing this at you. So I do have notes because I do want to make sure I talk about this stuff clearly. So I'm going to get straight into it. One of the key things that makes artists or cause artists to struggle is them listening to their loved ones. And as crazy as this may sound, it's detrimental. And I'm going to explain why. You see, what happens is your loved ones are going to tell you what's genuinely in their best interest. Not your best interest, in their best interest. And they genuinely going to tell you what they believe is best to keep you safe. When your loved ones tell you what's best to keep you safe, usually safe don't equate to happiness. That's just the reality. Comfort equates to happiness. Like when someone is in a comfortable position, they're typically happy. Having financial freedom is comfort. Playing it safe is not like a result of happiness. And what happens is your parents, your friends, your kids, your husband, your wife, they want to protect you. So they tell you to play it safe. And what they're telling you is correct from them. Like that's what they should be telling you. But it's not the correct advice you should be taking. You want to take advice from those who are going to help you get to where you want to go. And helping you get to where you want to go doesn't necessarily mean they're a mentor of yours. It could just be somebody who already got to where you want to go or got to whatever success looked like for them. And they could probably chime in on helping you get to where you want to go. So what I recommend is taking only taking advice from those who already where you want to be. And it don't have to be in your same space. If it's like mindset advice, business advice, action taking advice, it could be someone who achieved exactly what they want out of life. Here's the interesting part. You may talk to successful people, right? But just because somebody is successful, it doesn't mean that they achieved what they want out of their life. I give an example, and I talked about this in the past. You may want to listen to your dad, right? This is what you believe. Because your dad is successful. Let's say your dad went to school and became a doctor and he's like living the dream because he's successful. What happened was he played it safe. If you ask your dad like that, when you was 13 years old, what was your ultimate dream? Like, what did you really want to be? And then he's probably going to say some sports player or some whatever the case may be, right? Now, what happened was, as someone on that journey, maybe his parents told him to play it safe. That's what caused him to play it safe, right? But what happened is, when you play it safe, you live a life of regret. And you don't want to live a life of regret. You want to get advice from the one who was the action taker, the risk taker, and took big action to get to where they at. And they're going to tell you the real advice. They're gonna tell you like, hey, if you ain't passionate about it, don't do it because you're gonna die with regret. That's what they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you need to go all in on what you're passionate about. They're gonna tell you that you need to work your freaking ass off. They're gonna tell you need to sacrifice. They're gonna tell you what you really need to hear, and they could tell you what you really need to hear because they don't have to govern your emotions because they don't love you. They don't feel the need to protect you. And when you listen to those people, like the successful ones who don't need to protect you or protect your guys' relationship, they're going to give you the real advice. And the real advice is the good advice. The safe advice is the bad advice. So first, stop listening to your loved ones. Even though they love you, they're going to tell you everything they tell you from a place of love, which is phenomenal, but it's not going to get you to where you want to go in life. That's just the reality. All right. I'll move on to the next point after I say this. My mom begged me. She begged me to not go to art school. I did pretty decent in school. I wasn't the smartest kid by far, but I did decent enough to get a scholarship and like go to a decent school. And she begged me. She like, Droid, please don't go to art school. And what she was telling me, she said, go to a certain school. She wanted me to go to LSU. She says, go to LSU, which is Louisiana State University, and study something that's safe, and then you also close to home. So she wanted me to close to home, choose a safe career, right? And that was her way of keeping me safe. Because I did not choose to be safe and I followed what I was actually passionate about, and I went maybe like 900 miles, 800 miles away from home. Don't quote me on that. I don't know the mileage. But I went literally Kansas City from New Orleans was I think it was like a freaking 16-hour drive or so. I went far away from home, and it changed my life. It changed my life. That's one of the main reasons I'm at where I'm at today, helping visual artists, right? And now my mom is so proud of me. But she didn't give me the wrong advice when I was younger. She gave me the advice that she thought was right. And that was the right advice for her as a mother, but it wasn't the right advice for me. So, wrapping that up, taking advice from loved ones is a no-no. And it's very rare we have loved ones that could really like give us great advice without governing our relationship and our emotions. The second, I see so many artists struggle with this, and it's that of comparison. Stop comparing yourself to other visual artists. I see so many artists who create absolutely beautiful work, but they don't believe their work is beautiful because of Joe Blue on Instagram. That guy, 400,000 followers, creating phenomenal work. So they don't think their work will sell, or they tell themselves, I want to wait until my work get that good for me to start selling. I tell artists, like, when you understand you only in competition with yourself, it'll change everything. Like, imagine if you was the only visual artist on earth. At that point, how would you value your work? You see, we're not in competition. We actually all on the same team, but we competing with each other in the inside. And when you stop competing, you'll actually crush it because you're going to stop holding yourself back. And that's even if you think you're better than artists. It's the same. If you think you're better than artists, there's also artists you think are better than you. And you shouldn't think like that, because art is a place of creativity. Like, in reality, people talk about who's the best music artist. I kid you not. Ever since I started doing these live videos, there have not been a video I didn't burp. I don't even burp throughout the day. Like, I never can remember me like actually burp unless I just ate. And I literally burp on every single video now. And I actually forgot about it. I didn't think I was gonna burp this video. I completely forgot. But anyway, where were we? Oh crap. Where were we? Get my notes. Oh yeah, that the comparison. So you don't want to be comparing yourself to others, right? And that's only because, like, when you compare yourself, it's just gonna hold you back. Because at that point, you're gonna always think you're not good enough. And then when you think you're not good enough, you're not gonna take the necessary action. Like, I get on a call with artists, and they all want to ask me, Joy, is my work good enough? The only reason they ask that is because they comparing their work to other artists. And I tell them, like, hey, if we on a call, we already believe your work is good enough. But it shouldn't matter. Like, do you love the work you create? And you obviously do if you creating it. And we always gonna better our work because we're a visual artist. That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, if you think about music artists, it's not about who's the best musical artist, who's the best singer or rapper. It's different styles because they're creatives. It's different styles. Sure, yeah, one song may get more plays than another song. Don't necessarily mean it's better. That song might just catch more people interest. And this person might be very niche with his music and it still catch that particular audience interest. But it's different because it's creative. It's not a sport. There's a best player in sports, not a best player in art. Right? There's a difference between creating professional work. Your work needs to be professional. It's that simple. There is no like way around amateur work. Amateur, I'm talking about like not style. When I say stop comparing yourself, stop comparing your style. You do want to create professional work. That simple. Here's the big one. We on 3. 99% of visual artists I talk to struggle with this and it holds them back. 99% of visual artists. And that's choosing to be an employee. I want to explain this. I talk to so many visual artists, and so many visual artists tell me, hey, Gerard, I just want to paint. If I could just paint, I'd be the happiest artist. All I want to do is just paint. I don't want to do nothing else. Can I just sell a few artworks so I could paint? At that point, you're an employee. Like, employees have a specific job that they want to do, and they do that job. Fortunately, you are a business owner. The minute you decide, and I talk about this a lot, the minute you decide that you want to start selling your artwork, you're doing business, and then your product becomes your artwork. As a business owner, you have to wear the hat of a business owner. As a business owner and your art career being your business, you are responsible for every single thing in that business. That means you painting is just one role of the business. Not just one role. But you also have to be the marketer. You also have to be the seller. You also have to be the one who communicate with everyone. You also have to be the one that's able to delegate. And all of these roles are equally as important as painting until you're able to hire an assistant. I talk to so many artists who just want to paint. If you just want to paint, then you might as well just work a 9-to-5 job or stay at your 9-to-5, and just when you get off, that 9-to-5 job will provide for you and your family, and then in your free time, you could paint. But if you want to be a full-time artist, you want to be a business person. If you want to be a business person, you have to do business people stuff, which isn't fun. I don't sit at this freaking countertop and record YouTube videos and then have weekly coaching calls with my artists. There's so much more that comes with the responsibility of being a business owner. And I understand that. But when the minute I put on my business owner hat, I understand that it's my responsibility to take care of everything that comes with that. And this is a huge one. I know you want to just create art, but you got to ask yourself, at what cost? Do you want to create art at the cost of working a job you don't like for the rest of your life? Because everything comes at a trade-off and everything comes with sacrifice. You could create art full time, but that comes at the trade-off of also having to market and sell your work and getting yourself out there and talk to potential buyers. That's always the trade. It's that simple. So you got to ask yourself, like, are you willing to make that trade? Are you willing to trade and put in the hard work on all the other business stuff so you could be a full-time artist? And at that point, you're not an employee, you're a business owner. Please stop saying that, oh, I'm just a visual artist, I paint. If you want to make a career out of it, you're not just a business owner. You're not just a visual artist. You're a business owner. And that's absolutely crucial. That's why I'm spending so much time here. Forward. Too many visual artists are choosing comfort. I kind of mentioned this early on. I said about taking advice from your family. Stop choosing comfort. The reality is comfort is going to cause you to live a very, very, very undesirable life. I see so many artists that just can't make a decision. They can't make a decision simply because they want to choose comfort. As visual artists, unfortunately, we was programmed to think we should just go with the flow, not worry about how much money we make. You a visual artist, you bad at business, you don't like sales, you don't like marketing, you should just be painting, and you shouldn't really be thinking about much. Like, don't think, just be free. These thoughts have been brought to you by galleries. That's how galleries get visual artists on board. It's this simple. When a gallery come to you, or you go to a gallery, they say, hey, you shouldn't worry about your artwork. You shouldn't worry about how much you're charging. You shouldn't worry about if it's too expensive or not expensive enough. Let us take care of all of those things. You just worry about creating because you're a visual artist, and that's where your mind should be focused. Don't worry about anything else. And when you don't worry about your money, when you don't worry about your career, and when you don't worry about anything, you're in a very vulnerable position. So then people are able to take advantage of you. I say it all the time. The visual art space is the only space where people take 50% commission. You see, a gallery is nothing but a salesperson. You could Google this. What's the average commission for a sales job? Any sales company. The average is 10%. But because galleries were able to get you to not worry about how much money you make because they want you to stay comfortable. Don't worry, relax. They're able to charge you way more. I'm even saying some galleries charge 60 and 70%, which is ridiculous. But I'm saying is overall, you can't be comfortable. You have to make the tough decisions. That comes with putting on a business hat. You have to make the hard decisions. You have to take the big actions. You have to fully commit to the things you're passionate about. You have to give it 120%. And personally, I love the idea of being uncomfortable. Uncomfortable brings excitement. Like, think of when you was a kid and you probably went and rode on a roller coaster. The comfortable roller coasters never was the fun roller coasters. It was the ones that get you a little bit nervous, get those butterflies in your stomach, and you're like, holy crap, I don't know if I want to do this. The ones you think about backing out at the last minute. And those are always the rides you go back home and you tell all your friends about, and you tell them how amazing and how crazy it was and how big the drop is, right? And it's the same thing in life. Like, when you take big action, if it lights you up, it keeps you young. It literally keeps you young because it keeps your energy high, right? So you have to stop choosing comfort. Like, if you really want to succeed, go after what you want. Put in a late night and early mornings. Give it 110%. Make that investment. Like, really commit. Work on those bigger artworks that scare you. Like, really commit. And it's going to change the whole trajectory of your art career. That actually leads to the fifth thing, which is you having fear in the wrong thing. As humans, we all have fear. Even the ones that say they don't have fear. We all have some kind of fear. That's just the reality. But the problem is too many people are fearing the wrong thing. Everybody's fearing a what if. What if it don't work? What if it don't work? What if I don't see the results I want to achieve? What if I go down this and everybody look at me and call me a failure? Here's the reality. The people that's going to call you a failure are the failures themselves. Because no real successful person will ever consider somebody that chased their dreams a failure. Because every single person I know that succeeded went through a lot of trial and error. I commend the ones who go after things they want and fail. I think you're much more successful going after what you want and failing versus the person that never goes after what they want and choosing a safe route. You're the winner. It's just like dating. Imagine, guy or girl, it don't matter. Imagine you see somebody you really like and you want to go talk to them, right? But you don't because of fear. You think about that all night long, and it goes into the next day, and just like, oh, I can't believe I really didn't go talk to that person. Like, I can't believe I let that pass. Then you start thinking about, like, what if I would have talked to that person? We probably could have been a person for me. That person looks so good. I thought about it, like, man, I can't believe I really didn't, and it eat you alive. On the flip side, if you do go talk to that person, let's say you get rejected, they're like, no, I'm fine, I'm pass, and you walk away, you're just like, cool. By the end of the night, when the next day come, you completely move on. Like, that's done. No big deal. And now it's behind you. So what I'm saying is, it's the same thing with life. Like, we fear rejection. We fear loss. Like, we fear losing. We fear not succeeding. We fear failure. But in reality, I think the biggest fear you should have is the fear of regret. Because that fear of regret will really, really, really eat you alive. That's been me at some point. Like, there's been times I've seen, let's say, a female, she's just so beautiful, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to go talk to him. For whatever reason, she could have been like, I don't know, talking to a cash register or something. I say, I ain't gonna go talk to him, let it just pass. I don't want to interrupt. And I regret it. And you don't want to be that. Like, don't be fearful Gerard. But seriously, like, don't have that fear. Whatever you want, like, go after it. It's just that simple. Like, don't have that fear, because that fear is only going to lead to regret. And the worst regret you could have, and this is the thing I fear the most. The thing I fear the most is living a life and then laying on my deathbed and saying, like, wow, I let this life pass me by not doing what I really wanted to do. I decided to play it safe, or I didn't give it 100%. And now I'm counting my days. I realize I lived the life of regret, and I only got one. If you start changing these 5 things here, it's going to change your entire life. It changed my entire life. Everything about it. So just start here. But then afterwards, watch this video. Watch the next video for sure. See you on that video. Peace.